Hello everyone, MB here, and welcome back to a new video. And in this one, we are finally in the pitch black format. Finally, it feels like it's taken so long to get to this point in the TCG, but yeah, very glad we are finally in this format. It's taken so long, but yeah, I thought I'd kick things off with Hide and Sneak, or commonly known as Ghost Veil, which is based around, if you don't know what this archetype is, it's basically based around throwing all of these Pokemon in the discard pile to get unique effects of attacks. Now, the primary attacker in this deck is Dhelmise, which is cool to see. I feel like Dhelmise is a Pokemon that's never really had a proper chance to shine in the TCG, really, aside from maybe a niche tech card in that one Excadrill Ancient Trait deck from ages ago. But yeah, Dhelmise is pretty cool. Has the attack Vengeful Anchor. For 1 Psychic, does 30 base. And if you have 4 or more Pokemon that have the Hide and Sneak, or Ghost Veil, I guess, ability in your discard pile, this attack does 140 more damage. So either you just KO Buddy and do nothing else, or you do 170, which is quite impressive for a single energy on a basic 1-price Pokemon, and 140 HP. So you're kind of tanky. Like, Greninja would need 2 Mortal Shurikens to knock you out if they wanted to do that. So yeah, very nice indeed. And Dhelmise is our main way of two-shotting things. We do also play the Lillie's Clefairy, which would just let us one-shot Dragapult. That's basically all this is here for. I have seen lists that run like Wonder Patch and things, so if you really want to attack with Clefairy ever, then that's a fun option. And I suppose once we get to Mega Rayquaza and Delta Rain, then big basic bench decks might become more popular again with Air Zero and stuff. So that's definitely worth considering if you're a huge fan of that. But yeah, just that was worth bringing up. But we do have some other attackers. We do have Banette, which has the attack Puppet Pull, which does 80 damage for 1 Psychic, and you can search your deck for any 1 card. So this seems kind of redundant in this deck, but if you think that most evolving Pokemon have 80 HP or less, so say you go first, you then have a Shuppet, you then evolve into Banette on the second turn, you then knock out your opponent's evolved Pokemon, you search your deck for any card, and worst case scenario, your opponent KOs Banette, well then that's 2 of your Ghost Veil Pokemon in the discard pile for free. And it is 1 prize at the end of the day, so it shouldn't matter too much. So yeah, just a nice little way of tutoring out cards. We'd also play the Sinistcha, which is my favorite attacker so far, but sadly I've not actually been able to use it in any games. It's just not really cropped up as being useful, which is a bit of a shame because I do really like this guy, and I'm hoping he ends up being really strong with the Spiritomb especially, but I'll have to try out a Spiritomb build in a future video just because I think there's not really enough deck space in this one to really warrant Spiritomb, but you could definitely add it if you fancied it. But yeah, this guy has the attack Matcha Spin, so if you have 6 or more Pokemon that have a Hide and Sneak, so you do need quite a few more than Dhelmise. But if you do, then you place 4 damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon, so 40 damage on everything, which is very nice. And it just means that sometimes when Dhelmise isn't quite two-shotting a Mega Evolution, 340 is a lot of damage, but it's not, not 360, it's not 380. So having a Sinistcha basically means you can get a bit of extra damage in there, which is cool. I have also seen lists that play the Brave Bangle, which honestly would be a really nice shout here. And Brave Bangle would let Moltres deal with grass types a bit easier as well. So I would maybe look into adding to Brave Bangle to this list. But honestly, Ghost Veil is such a versatile deck that you can play so many different tech cards and options. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's other variants that are a bit similar to this, but are playing different counts of things. But for this list inspiration, it was kind of like a hybrid of several deck lists I looked at from Japan. I basically just cherry-picked all my favorite cards out of each of them and was just this is what I end up with. So yeah, quite a lot of fun. In the original list, there was 4 copies of Dunsparce and only 2 copies of the Dunsparce. Now, I do know that this Dunsparce only has 60 HP, so Mortal Shuriken is pretty devastating here, but it does have free retreat, which I value greatly in my decks nowadays. So if you want to, you can play the 70 HP Dunsparce. I think most people will do, to be honest. But I personally just prefer free retreat. There is plenty of other switching options, though. We have an Air Balloon. We even have a Kieran, if necessary. But Kieran is mainly here to improve our damage by 30. So if necessary, we can do an extra 30 with Dhelmise, which is cool. Or, if necessary, an extra 30 with Puppet Pull, but it might be a bit redundant. I don't know. But yeah, we do also have some extra bench Pokemon. And I've kind of glossed over Moltres, actually. But yeah, pull Moltres. But yeah, Moltres is here for grass types. Mainly things like Beedrill just give you a better chance against them. But also Venusaur, because Venusaur is a very tanky Pokemon. So having Moltres is just a way more efficient way of dealing with it. And because we can also utilize Prism Energy, we don't have to run any Fire Energy, which is great. We're not running multiple types of Basic Energy. So Prism Energy just lets us attack with Dhelmise and Moltres, which is cool. As for some other bench sitters, though, we do have Shaymin for some bench protection. which is very nice. It's just useful against bench protection attacks. Just things like, what's it, Waterpon, Ogapon is really annoying. And then also like Darmanian in the Zoroark deck can be a bit of a pain to deal with sometimes, just against your regular Dunsparces, because like the Ghost availability itself is really useful, but it won't protect all your Pokemon. It'll only protect the squishy guys. It won't protect your bench Dhelmise, your bench Lillie's Clefairy, for example. So having Shaymin and Patrat in the deck does help out quite a bit. And Patrat is nice because if we don't have Patrat, then basically what Dragapult players can do is just have their Munkidorys move all their damage just to your active Dhelmise. So even if they aren't actually getting any like seriously good value from it, they are still healing at the end of the day, and we don't want that. We don't want them to heal. So it is handy to have Patrat. So that's kind of it for Pokemon. As for some trainers, there's only really one new trainer in here to talk about, and that is Gwynn. This lets you discard 2 Pokemon that don't have a Roblox from your hand, so pretty much just any Ghost Veil really is ideal, but you know, we do run full Dhelmise, so you might want to bin one. And you draw 3 cards for each one you discarded in this way, because like typically a lot of these Ghost Veil decks do kind of struggle with finding some kind of bench sitter to just draw cards. Like I have seen a few lists run Fez, which I don't hate the idea of Fez or Meowth, but they do feel a bit like 2 prize liability these days. And like this deck is trying to be as efficient as possible as a 1 prize deck can be, basically. Like we have Legacy Energy, you know, we're not really running Roblox Pokemon. Like if you even wanted to make this deck cheaper, for example, you could remove Lillie's Clefairy IRL. I was able to pick up one of these for like £1. Very cheap, suspiciously cheap actually. But you know, like if you wanted to make this cheaper, you definitely could. But yeah, if you do want to bling it out with Fez, then I guess Fez and Deputy is a nice option, but to be honest, it's not really cropped up as being super useful because we do have Dudunsparce as a nice way of drawing cards. And then we do have Legacy Energy to try and like deny your opponent some prize cards at some point. So yeah, that's kind of it for the list. Super excited to try this out on the ladder. Let me know what you think about Ghost Veil or Hide and Sneak down below. And yeah, thank you for watching. So going into my opponent's first turn here, it looks like they're playing a Mega Gengar deck. And thankfully, their Munkidori will be nullified with the effects of Patrat, at least against our other Pokemon, which is quite handy. They are going to go ahead and attach here, which I must admit, I did forget that this guy can actually attack. So yeah, that would have been a bit frustrating, actually. I did kind of forget that Shuppet had weakness to Dark. So yeah, that could have actually been a bit annoying. But thankfully, we will be okay, because what I'm going to go and do here is probably Gwyn for starters. Yeah, we'll Gwyn for starters. We'll get rid of these guys. And we are looking to use Banette this turn, if possible. And, okay, interesting hand. I think I will play the Poffin first, just because I want some of these guys down. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the Poké Pad. Now, what I'm going to do here is grab the Banette, but I'm not going to evolve it just yet, because I know we have 2 in deck anyway. So I'm going to discard one of these, one of them, discard one of them, and then grab a last Banette. So that's just essentially getting rid of the other Banette anyway, so that works out quite nice. And then at this point we can do the 80 and get anything we want, which I think at this point is actually just another Dunsparce. I don't actually think I want anything else at this stage. We might want a Kieran. Kieran's not awful if they promote something like Fez, but I think we'll be okay. I'll just take another Dunsparce. And then if they have to hit us with a Judge, then that's okay. So I will take a prize. Another Banette, pretty useful. Could be useful for discarding things. I'm thinking we run enough Ghost Veil deck, Ghost Veil Pokemon in this to maybe warrant a Spiritomb, but it's more because I want to like try out the Sinistcha at some point. I think it could be really fun. But yeah, I'm glad that we actually got to use Banette though, because I always thought this deck would be more just straight Dhelmise, but getting use of Public Pull is pretty useful. What on earth? Wait, really? You play that? That's interesting. Okay. I mean, okay. That's quite surprising to see. So they will pass over. Toxel is not much of a threat, but it can evolve and then place a load of damage. So we don't really want them to have access to that. So I will go ahead and evolve here. We will draw some more cards. We get plenty of stuff that we can use. And yep, I will evolve here again. And I wouldn't mind seeing some more energy, but I might keep that just for now, actually. These two can hit the bin, though. And we could get another Dunsparce. I wouldn't mind trying the Poltchageist, but I feel like Dunsparce is a bit more important right now, so... I mean, we are kind of getting there for Ghost Veil Pokemon, at least. You know what? I don't think I need to play that. I think that's just being a bit greedy. And yeah, we can go ahead and use Puppet Pull on this guy. Knock him out. Would you like to search your deck for a card? Yes, please. I would like just a basic energy, actually. Just a basic energy. We don't really have ways of finding them because Earthen Vessel sadly rotated. Earthen Vessel would have been lovely in this deck, though. Like, can you imagine that? Discarding a Pokemon, finding any 2 basic energy out the deck. Could have been really good. Would have great synergy with the Pharyngy as well. So yeah, we're definitely doing enough for Dhelmise. Are we anywhere near Sinistcha? We are. No, wait, no, we're not. I keep thinking Dhelmise has hide and seek. It does not. Okay, so we have 5 currently in the bin. So assuming Banette goes down, that would be 6. Okay, do I want to spend another boss here? Honestly, I might do. Put some energy on the Toxel. I mean, Toxtricity's not awful, I guess. But I think Gengar is the bigger problem, so... we shall deal with Ghastly, I think. Yeah, they can get energy next turn at the least, but... I think I'm okay with doing this. I don't know if it's ever worth actually attacking with Sinistcha, but I'm kind of curious enough to want to try. So what I will do here is Poké Pad. I'm going to find a Sinistcha, a Poltchageist, little T guy. He's going to go on the bench, and we will use him at some point. And yeah, we will just take 3 prize cards with Puppet Pull, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, back-to-back boss. We definitely don't care about bossing again, so that's fine. We'll get a... yeah, I guess we'll get this guy out the deck. That's fine. I mean, I guess you could just get another boss, but yeah. I can't remember if we have a 3rd boss in the deck actually, or if it was prized, because I think we are running 3 boss. Kieran's also decent. Would let us deal with some bigger threat. It would also let us switch out and keep the energy, which I might do. Yeah, I mean, we could do that. Does Telepathic provide colors? I'm just checking that because I know some special energy discard themselves if they're not on the right Pokemon, but I think this one's fine. Yeah, it provides Psychic. I mean, we don't care because it's all colorless anyway. So yeah, they find 2 Pokemon. We just knock out Toxel. We go down to 2 prizes. So if they bench Fez or Meowth, then that's when we can use the last boss, basically. So they do draw Lillies, so they're finally back in the game. Interesting list, though. I wonder if this is the new starter deck, actually. This could be the new starter deck. Never thought about that. Alright, Poison's pretty good for us, because that will improve our own damage. Okay, they're going for the Munkidori. Does that mean then they want to use Adrenabrain, potentially? Alright, Morpeko is spicy. That's a spicy boy. But we can one-shot it with Kieran, so... Alright, I think I will Telepathic this guy? Yeah, we'll Telepathic this guy. And I'm not going to play anything out the hand, there's no reason to, so we will Puppet Pull. Well, that's crazy. 4 prize cards with Banette. Didn't think that would ever happen. So we do have the boss. And I don't know if we really want anything out of the deck. I think I'm going to get hit with a red card no matter what here, so... I guess another Psychic? Yeah, we'll take a Prism, sure. Prism's fine because it means we can retreat any of the basics if necessary. But yeah, I think we will get hit with a red card. I'm surprised we weren't hit with one last turn. But I suppose if they had to Lillies instead of being able to utilize like Petrol, then... Okay, bit of an interesting play from my opponent. What you should definitely do in that situation is not promote more Pekko, just because this guy kind of relies on the bench for Pekka Run. But then I guess, well, I suppose actually, yeah, Janane's not a bad shout, yeah. Ignore what I said, basically. Ignore what I said. Ember Power doesn't know what he's talking about. Alright, gets the energy. This becomes poison, though. So we don't even need Kieran. Yeah, we don't even need Kieran. If there was like a way to modify HP, I would like Morpeko a lot more in Standard, but this is the reason why I don't think Morpeko is getting his own video. He does not have enough HP. Alright, so they are just going to go for the Hangry Blaster, and then we just win the game with Vengeful Anger, so... Yeah, I'm surprised at Banette. I am surprised at Banette. I'm really surprised at that. But yeah, kind of frustrating we didn't get to use Sinistcha, but against like a lot of the bigger Megas, you probably want to include it just for the extra 4 damage counters, so we can set up other KOs. But yeah, Vengeful Anger will win us the game here. Unless this thing has resistance? No, it doesn't have resistance. Okay, got worried there for a sec.